We were talking earlier about there has to be a fundamental change to really, because that's one of the definitions of insanity, is to continue to do the same thing and pray for a different outcome. And
Right.
that's what most of us do. We don't really want to change. We like what we're doing. We just want to feel good. So there's a bit of a conflict there.
So in your approach to health and in your presentations, lectures, treatments, you must talk about how people can improve and change their lives, improve and change their conditions, their health conditions. Because one thing you said before the show is that doctors don't make us well. You know, they may help with symptoms, they may help with corrections, but if something's going to happen, it's going to have to come from us. So how do you deal with that kind of personal kind of communication with people?
A big part of what I do is really education as well. When I work with a patient, I like to consider them more, for them to consider me more as a coach and a detective. The coaching part is to help them look at, help them look at what they're doing, what are the choices they're making in their lifestyle. What we like to call it is the 6 essentials. Eat,
All right.
breathe, drink, exercise, rest, and think.
Okay.
And as we look at those 6 essentials, what we think has a more profound effect on our body function than all the other 5 combined. That's not to minimize the importance of the other 5, it's to recognize how much our thoughts and our emotions, thoughts and feelings have an impact on our health. So we look at those choices, and we know that traumas, physical, chemical, emotional traumas, create interference in the way the body's able to communicate and function. So in the treatment aspect, I'm evaluating where's their interference. Is it in the physical body? Is there a problem in the message?
Can you provide sort of an anecdotal example of how thoughts, maybe in someone you've worked with, how thoughts got in the way and how thoughts could actually promote better health?
Well, a real simple type of thing that usually starts with is we're young, we're wide open, we're babies, and we're growing up. And it typically starts with a bushwhacking, ambushing.
Okay.
We're wide open, we're happy, we're joyful. A perfect example is
Innocent.
We're innocent. Let's say a perfect example is you've moved to a new home. You're 4 years old, and your daddy brings you up to your room, and you're like so excited. It's the first time you've had your own room, and daddy walks out, and you're there, and you want to color. And so you find your crayons, but you can't find your coloring book. And then you see all these plain, drab, white walls. And you paint your best friend here and your dog over there and, you know, the front yard of your old home, and it's just beautiful. And you say, "Daddy, Daddy, come look." How does Daddy usually respond?
Yeah, pretty angry.
So you're creative, you're joyful, you're open, you're innocent, and whack.
Right.
So what happens then is you start to become defensive. You defend.
Close down.
You close down, you defend, you're in protection. And now whenever those feelings of creativity, joy, and openness come up, you're going to be looking over your shoulder. So then we start to resonate negatively. And then we start to attract more negative experiences into our life, and we start to resonate. We actually become more comfortable because in the negativity, because it's familiar, because to go into the joy is too painful.
It's risky.
It's risky. We might get bushwhacked. We might get attacked again. So that's what we're constantly doing. Rather than living in our authentic selves, we start to try to become something we're not, to try to fit in, to try not to get in trouble, to try to whatever it might be. So then these things build up.
Not rock the boat.
Not rock the boat. So these things build up, and they create the interference in the subconscious mind. And the subconscious mind is then interpreting present time information through these filters. And now we're in a constant state of defense, and this is where the health part comes in. We can't be in defense and healing at the same time. They're completely different physiologies. They're completely different biochemical makeup.